The Knicks postgame show is presented by Tri-State Audi. Visit your Tri-State area Audi dealer today. What a game tonight in the nation's capital as the Knicks prevail over the Wizards in overtime, 136-132. As Jalen Brunson, his third career game with at least 50, goes for 55, 42 after halftime, and the Knicks prevail over the Wizards. Remember, the Knicks at Orlando last night. They got here late, about 2:30 a.m. Wizards young. They're missing Kyle Kuzma. They're missing Jordan Poole, but they gave the Knicks fits tonight. In fact, the Wizards were up by 8 points after 3 quarters of play before the Knicks won the fourth quarter 29-21, and that sets the stage for the Knicks' first overtime game of the season. For those of us who were here, we're not going to forget what Jalen Brunson did tonight. He was absolutely phenomenal. He had 13 points in the first half, but then in the second half, with the Knicks really needing him to turn it on, he turned it on. 42 of his 55 after halftime. He had 19 points in the third, 14 points in the fourth, and 9 points in overtime. Set a career high with 16 made free throws. Went 16 of 17 from the line. The 16 makes a career high. He was 18 of 31 from the floor. And if not for Brunson, this would have been a massive upset against the Wizards, who have won only 5 games and came into this game in the bottom of the Eastern Conference. But they had 6 players in double figures. They played well, but too much from Brunson tonight. 55 points. I mentioned his shooting. Again, a career high in terms of free throws made, 16. Ties a career high with 17 free throw attempts, 9 assists, 44 minutes. What a game, as we now go back to the guys who called it tonight. Kenny and Alan. Guys, take it away. What do you think?
Well, Bill, what a performance, and you pretty much said it all. Jalen Brunson finishing with 55 points, 13 of the first quarter, did not score in the second quarter. But then one of the most important parts of this game, Alan, that last minute of regulation, the Knicks trailed by 5 with 1 minute on the clock. Brunson scored, was fouled, and then hit another bucket. So he scored the last 5 points in regulation for the Knicks.
Willed this team to the win and did it the way he does it, which is getting into the painted area. Again, I find this to be just an incredible number. 28 of the 55 points was scored in the paint. This is a guard in the NBA where these days you put up 55, you're doing a lot of it on the perimeter. Not him. He also, from 2-point range, was 15 of 20. Just an efficient game for him. The one area that he did not do well, which is the whole team didn't do well, was the three-point shooting, 3 for 11. But got it done at the free throw line, 16 of 17. That had been an area of concern for him in recent games. It just shows you, though, when it's winning time, how certain players that are elite players just lock in. And he knew this was a game. This was a game where the Knicks could have easily said, back-to-back. It's this young, scrappy team. Not our game tonight. But they said no. Jalen Brunson refused to let this game go away and made sure the Knicks got their 7th straight win.
And he is in some rarefied air, an exclusive club, the second Knick in history to score at least 55 points in a game more than once.
Yeah, and it's, again, the story of Jalen Brunson from day one when he walked into this organization. He has changed this franchise, the culture and everything else about it with what Leon Rose and William Wesley and Tom Thibodeau, and then you add Jalen Brunson to that mix. It has turned everything around for this team, and it's always been about winning. That's the priority. That's always the first thing. Not numbers, not my stats. We've heard him talk about this several times before when he hasn't put up big numbers. He doesn't care. It's about winning. But sometimes you got to score to win, and he had to do it in bunches tonight.
A huge game as well for Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, again, a good bounce-back game for him because he's had a couple of games where, especially on the rebounding side of things, he has not really been getting it done. And then last night really struggled. Only 6 of 10, only took 10 shots last night. Well, tonight he got after it early. Okay, so a couple of early fouls slowed things down, but he stayed aggressive, and that's what you love to see. He should dominate games like this against young teams that don't have a ton of size. And he gave you a 30 and 14 performance, but also efficiency on the shooting end. And I mean, that was just a beautiful play by him. But it's the post-ups I love, the jump hooks, the fadeaway jumpers. But we do know he can knock down a 3 like he did tonight as he went 2 of 5 from downtown. Just good to see Karl Anthony Towns find his game again.
So a double-double for Towns, a double-double for Josh Hart in his return home. Jalen Brunson, 55 points. Knicks win a thriller in overtime. Alan, great job as always. Enjoy Monday with Mike.
This was a lot of fun. Bill, it's great to have you on the road, but it's your turn to take over now.
Back to you, Billy.
All right, guys. As always, thank you so much. So the Knicks now, you look at the whole picture. They've won 7 straight. They've won 7 straight on the road. They're 17-4 since that 5-6 start, 22-10. It's a best start through 32 games since the 12-13 Knicks won 54 games. That was a Melo team, of course, coached by Mike Woodson. The final stats, Knicks prevail even though they go only 10 of 40 from 3, made up for it with the free throw shooting. Of the 24 for 26, I mention again, Brunson 16 of 17, and the rest of the numbers as the Knicks win a wild one tonight in overtime. Monica McNutt joins us after this. Back now from the Corner 3, presented by Michelob Ultra Superior Light Beer. So the Knicks will play on Monday where they played tonight, back in Washington. Pre-game at 6:30 on Monday night, game at 7. And then the Knicks are back home on New Year's night to host Utah. Then they'll be on the road on Friday night at OKC in a showdown. And then at Saturday, they'll be on the road at Chicago. Time now to listen into the Knicks coach, Tom Thibodeau. His post-game comments, as always, presented by Chase.
Well, I think we didn't have much going, and give them a lot of credit. I thought they played a great game. We got down 8-10 and then fought like crazy to give ourselves a chance to win and just, find different ways to win when nothing's going your way. And Jalen certainly, the shot making was incredible, the play making. I thought Carl gave us, really good minutes, and Mikhail was terrific, and Josh, his hustle. And just in the end, the fourth quarter, we did what we had to do to get it done. And then overtime, obviously. Just concentrate on that improvement and find ways to win.
We've had a lot of days this year where we're talking about Jalen just doing the right thing and not needing to score. But look at today, he kind of knew he needed.
Well, that's the beauty of his game is he can provide whatever the game needs. So if we need, if it's a game, we didn't shoot the ball well from 3, and but if we need more scoring, he can provide that. If we need more playmaking, someone else has a good matchup, someone else has it going, he'll search that guy out, and I think the team plays that way. It's a pretty balanced attack, and you have 4 guys that are all capable of having big scoring nights, and then you can throw in, Deuce, what he gives you off the bench, and, Cam and Landry are shot makers as well. I thought Precious gave us some good, solid minutes as well.
You mentioned the balance. I think you're the first NBA team to have 4 different players score 40 or more points before January 1st. Is that just indicative of?
Yeah, I don't know how you guys find that stuff. Like, I love when there's all these qualifiers, but it's a testament to all 4 of those guys, because it's all about their willingness to sacrifice for the betterment of the team. And so one night, someone gets it going, one guy has a better matchup, whatever it might be, and the game oftentimes dictates who's going to get the shot. So just make the right play, make winning plays, and if we do that and prioritize the team and winning, good things will always come from that.
That last missed free throw from them, obviously they're going to intentionally.
Yeah.
You said that's why you fell on 3. Do you practice rebounding in scenarios specifically where the other team is going to?
Well, a lot of the teams now are trying to shoot the line drive to the front of the rim. So, and that's why being ready. And we always talk about being ready on dead balls, because you have a chance. It's not like a live ball situation. There's things that happen. Dead ball situation, your concentration has to be on, okay, what is my responsibility here? You got to get body-to-body contact. Then you got to have the guys behind the shooter. Who's got the shooter? What side are you loaded up on? Which side are you pinching the guy on? And so those things, they're constant. And even sometimes not having your hands up because of the way the ball hits, right, leads to a second shot. So, and, we always say fight to win every possession, because you never know which possession it is that's going to be the difference in the game. So everything does matter. I think the details are important in everything.
How about the box out stuff there? Cat is very concentrated on
Yeah, well, the thing is, it's like so the physicality of the blockout, the ones that are like I think more challenging, people are sending the weak side corner guy to the glass, right? And then oftentimes they're sending 4 guys and 1 guy is back, and so you're seeing that more and more. And we knew like in that situation, everyone's going, so everyone has to get a body, and and if it takes there's a deflection or then it becomes a scramble, and then you got to react and get to, and that's what I think Josh is so good at, is his anticipation to get to those type of plays. And you need everyone, you need great concentration, and you need a second and third effort, but you need everyone working together.
Josh in overtime had a couple of big finishes around the rim.
Yeah, and rebounds in traffic too.
He's like 69% on twos this year. He's shooting a ridiculous percentage of the rim. He's always been efficient on twos, but it's just another level. The numbers this year, what have you seen that's brought it that?
Well, he's always been a good finisher, and I think the way he attacks, and he doesn't really fade. He attacks the rim, and he's strong off two, and he gets through contact. But we haven't, Jalen's finishing well this year. Cat is coming. He's starting to do it, and Mikhail is really finishing well also. So we got a bunch of guys that are doing a good job with their finishing, and I think because of where we are, the physicality that's being allowed in the game now, I think attacking the rim and going to the rim versus fading away is important. That's how you're going to get calls. That's how you're going to finish through contact.
Mikal Bridges, by the way, 21 tonight. Josh Hart, 13 and 11 with 7 assists. Knicks win it by 4 in overtime. Monica McNutt's perspective after this. And look who it is, Monica McNutt, back in her home space here. What a game to watch in your hometown.
That was thrilling. I got to give the Wizards a lot of credit. I think you come into a game, you think, okay, missing Jordan Poole, he's a big-time scorer for this team. But I thought Carrington, Coulibaly, and Sarr in particular in that first half really set the tempo, and this team fought.
It's 6 players in double figures, as we mentioned. Jalen Brunson, and we talk about this now, he does whatever is necessary, and tonight it was necessary that he score 55 points.
Yeah, I think in the third you feel it turning into a lot of ISO, but he was being effective and finding his way to the free throw line. What did he shoot total tonight? 16 of 17 from the free throw line.
Career high in makes.
It's fantastic. Yeah. I mean, literally, he was flawless until he missed 12 of 13, but he had knocked down, or 13 of 14, he had knocked down 12 straight. In the overtime and in the fourth quarter, I believe it was 21 points for him between the two. Just understanding the moment. And you asked me what am I thinking about this game, because I'm still sort of trying to process. The Wizards have won 5 games. So on paper you would go, oh, this is light. This should be nothing. I think if you consider second night of a back-to-back for the Knicks, and if you listen closely to head coach Brian Keefe in the pregame, now that as I reflect about how this whole thing has gone down, this was a team that was pretty confident in their ability to score against the Knicks. They put up 111 points.
Even without Kuzma and without Poole?
Because I think without Poole and Kuzma, those young guys, the ball moved with a different level of snap, crackle, and pop that they don't typically have. And so you had young guys that have been thirsty to get an opportunity to prove themselves. You had Justin Champagne, who had a career-high night, and they were able to slow the Knicks. Whether you think the Wizards slowed the Knicks or the Knicks just shot
to your
from
point,
three.
Monica, the Wizards had 32 assists.
Right. And so I think it was sort of a perfect storm as a young team continues to grow. Now, ultimately, I think the veteran leadership and one team had Jalen Brunson and one team didn't. But I do think now, 30 games into a season, you can see where this Wizards team has grown, and they should be respected. But ultimately, the Knicks found a way to win.
All right. Again, the Knicks were down by 8 after 3 quarters of play. And, as Alan mentioned when we just had him on with Kenny, it would have been very easy to say the heck with it. Second of a back-to-back. We're rolling along. We got them again on Monday. But they are able, this group, to pull these games out. And one of the trends here of late is they're not necessarily playing great basketball for 4 quarters, but the Knicks are doing what's necessary to win the game.
Yeah, and when the Knicks are trailing after 3, they're 2-7. When the Knicks shoot less than 30% from 3, they're 2-3. And so I think being able to find their way out of some of these holes and win speaks to the growth. My key to the game was focus, and I meant focus in a way that says we got better today. And in terms of breaking some of those trends, I do think the Knicks got better tonight.
as we've mentioned, Monica back in her home DMV. And as I mentioned the pregame show, she might be the most popular person in the arena. Tyler Murray, your colleague on the radio on ESPN New York, got a picture there. They're lining up here. They're lining up here to say hello to Monica.
For the record, it's the perfect storm. Those are Knicks fans that live in Rockville. And so it's not just me being home. It's the combination.
The combination. Give yourself some credit.
I mean, I love being home. This place is special.
All right,
Knicks fans are special.
And we're going to stay here.
Okay.
Knicks are back Monday night to play the Wizards. The question is, will you invite me to do anything on a day off tomorrow?
Pidto, it's a little tricky. It's the holidays. I'm home. I have family, people that I've known for years before I met you.
You always have a reason. Always an excuse.
Let's try again on another city. Maybe I'll get my parents to cook and come. Well, I'm not even going to be there. Well, maybe. We'll figure that out.
All right. Well, enjoy the next couple days. We'll see you here Monday night, okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Josh Hart also back in his home area, a double-double. We're going to get his reaction and talk about his game coming up.
The Knicks postgame show is presented by Audi. Visit your Tri-State Audi dealer today.
Continue on the Audi Knicks postgame show as the Knicks prevail in overtime over the Wizards, 136-132. Josh Hart back in his hometown, 13 points, 11 boards, 7 assists. Here he is after the game.
Yeah, I mean, it feels good. You know, I feel like we're finding ourselves. I feel defensively we kind of took a step back today, but I mean, off a back-to-back, you know, with a young team runs. You know, they've been playing well. They've been shooting the ball very well the last, 5-10 games. So we got to give them credit. But, I mean, it was good to, you know, expand that streak and then, you know, dig in and claw and get a win.
How about a Precious dunk in the first half?
Man. You know, that gave us great energy in the first half. He's a freak athlete. You know, hopefully we can see that a little more.
You ever seen OG react to something the way that he reacted?
I actually didn't really see it. I was doing my own little reaction, so I had to look at the video for it.
OG looked like he was as emotional as Precious, and Precious looked as emotional as OG.
Really? Yeah. I'm gonna tap in.
That very last rebound, when you know Washington is going to intentionally miss the free throw, you're outside of the paint and you're coming crashing in, Cat's boxing out. Do you guys practice those specific moments?
Nah.
So like, because Cat in that moment is like, he is not even looking at the rebound, like he's just boxing out, and you're crashing. Like, how much of that is instinct versus?
Just instinct. Honestly, realistically, it's probably not what I'm supposed to do. I think I had Koulibaly next to me. I probably should just stick with him and, you know, make sure if they get the rebound, they don't have, you know, someone to pass to right there. But, you know, it was just like I know they're going to miss and just kind of go get the ball.
When you said, like, back-to-back games against a young team, and you guys, yourself especially, I think, had, like, 2 loose balls, a big rebound in overtime. Is it just you got to wake up and do it?
Yeah, I played 38 minutes. Finally got my body warm after 30. So the last 8 minutes, I was able to get it a little warm and get a couple of rebounds. But yeah, this one was, at least for me, this one was a really tough back-to-back. So hopefully rest tomorrow and then get back to it.
Indeed, the Knicks off tomorrow. They're back here to take on the Wizards on Monday night. And then we bring in the new year. New Year's night, the Knicks play host to Utah, beginning a stretch in January of 15 games, 11 of which are at home. If you take away the OKC and Chicago road games, the Knicks will only play at Philly and at the Nets the rest of the month. So they can keep on rolling. Jalen Brunson had 55 tonight. Here he is after the game.
Any point in particular you felt like it was going to be a big night, or do you not operate that way?
It just happened. Just the way the game was flowing, and look up the scoreboard, it says 50-something, so it is what it is.
So many nights where Tibbs has talked about you doing what's needed, and did you feel kind of fourth quarter and overtime that's what was needed tonight?
Yeah, we were a sub-slow night. You got to give them credit, and then fourth quarter we picked up a little bit and just found a way to put the game in our favor. It took overtime, but still, it took a lot tonight.
Alan was saying that you had 28 points in the paint. Did it feel like you had a lot of room to move and operate against them in that area?
I was just reading the game. I don't really remember. But throughout the game, like, you're just attacking teams. You're trying to see where you can be effective. And when you have 4 other guys on the court that space the floor, it's easy. And so it's a credit to them.
I was going to ask, were you surprised they didn't double you down the stretch?
I mean, if you do, I have the most confidence in my teammates that they'll knock down an open shot. So whatever the defense is, we're going to adapt and we're going to find a way.
How much of your process in a game are you trying to anticipate what kind of coverages are going to be coming on future possessions?
I always think about it, but at the same time, I'm always in the moment seeing how I can be aggressive, how I can be the aggressor, and see the defense is backing up and they're on their heels. Always just reading their feet, always reading what the help is doing, and go from there.
Kind of on the note of the balanced scoring, you guys are the first team in NBA history to have 4 guys have 40-plus point games before January 1st. I know I threw a couple too many qualifiers in there, but does that speak to the balance of this team and the ability for different guys to get hot?
Yeah, it could be anybody on any given night. It's just a credit to the guys who work hard on this team and their confidence and how we feel about each other.
Indeed. So Anunoby, Bridges, Towns, and Brunson have all had games in which they've scored at least 40. And tonight, Brunson does even better than that with 55 points. You heard the sounds of GOAT in the background. And boy, he was spectacular tonight. We will wrap up the postgame show from the nation's capital right after this. Knicks win it by 4 in overtime. Wrapping up the Audi Knicks postgame show. We'll see you back here on Monday night as the Knicks will try to make it a sweep of the Wizards. They win tonight by 4 in overtime. Josh Hart gave a jersey for Mike and Ike's. Pretty good trade. We'll see you Monday night. Knicks here in Washington again, pregame at 6:30, tip-off at 7, and also stream our coverage on MSG Plus now on the Gotham Sports app. Want more than just a postgame show? Link your eligible TV subscription to stream Knicks games free or subscribe today in the Gotham Sports app. Just go to gothamsports.tv to learn more.